One wrong decision can delay a player's career for years, whereas one strong or smart decision can fast track a player's career for years ahead. The problem today is most agents and players get this wrong regularly. At least 99% of people get this wrong. In this video today, I will show you 5 decisions you can make either to skyrocket a player's career or silently kill that player's career unknowingly. The first big decision is, I will say, playing time. Choosing big clubs over playing time. As a young player, most agents are guilty of this. They prefer to take players to top clubs, and then those players sit on the bench, and then they end up being loaned somewhere. After being loaned somewhere, they end up disappearing. So this is where agents come in, because smart agents, this is a decision you have to take. You have to analyze your player, the player you're working with, because you are in charge of that player's career. And an agent is someone that you have to be smart and also thinking as a mentor to advise players, because they don't have a lot of knowledge about the industry. So if you're an agent, you have to be prioritizing, also looking at your player to make good decisions. And one of these decisions is making smart move, prioritizing game time, prioritizing development, prioritizing key things like leagues that can make the player much better. So if you are having a young player who is 17 years, you don't want him to be going to a big team if he's not going to get playing time. You want him to go somewhere that he's going to play as much as possible. This is only going to develop him, because we all know that for a young player, development is your key, and he who plays more gets more exposure. So that's the first thing that I would say. This is very big key. The second decision I would say is timing. For players, when you're developing and playing, a player can move too early and then it breaks that player, or you can move too late. So I'm going to break this down. So let's take, for example, a player is 18 years, again, 18 years. Then he wants to move and he moves too early. When you move too early, whereas you have not been getting minutes from your former club, the clubs you left before, you're only going to sit on the bench. So the right move is, you have to find timing is very important in the transfer market. You have to play from your former club. If you're playing regularly, then when it's time to move, then you feel there's a balance that you can move, because you have been getting a lot of minutes there and you have been doing well. So this is how you find it. If you're begging a club to sign you always, then it means you haven't really developed well at the previous club. So the best way is to play and get your minutes, then before moving forward. I interview a lot of sporting directors, and they say this is what they come across. So you as an agent, you have to be very smart to always advise your player towards this. Key decision number 3 is choosing the right league. I repeat, choosing the right league. This is very important. You might be a top player, but you are different from playing in various leagues. The way you can impact certain leagues is different from other leagues. Your impact will be different from other leagues. So what do I mean by this? I'm going to break this down. So a player can be a very techy player. You know what I mean, techy. That's technically skillful and can play on tight spaces, but lack the pace or physicality or the speed of the game. So he's suited to certain leagues. And you and your agent have to always analyze this also, the player and the agent. You have to look at these criteria and say, okay, where do I really fit and where can I play my football? So you go into the market, or you people sit down and analyze this. This is very important. That's why it's always good to have open conversation with agent and player. You people have to be like a team. And there's no shy away from this. You have to be honest with each other. And agent, if you also see that this is a difficult move your player is taking, that the league is going to be challenging for the player, you have to be open to tell the player that, for example, if you're going to Premier League in England, it's more physical and it's more pacey, it's more fast. You are a player that can control the game. There's no point to go to this team in the Premier League. Also, team also matter. The system they play matters. There's no point, because the money they have thrown at us going into this team matters. Whereas you're going to sit on the bench after few games. So these are also honest conversations that you have to have. So the league, also the team, everything matters. So this is a very key factor. Now, The next key factor is who you trust as an agent. A lot of agents destroy players' careers, and a lot of agents take players' career upward. So let me break this down. So you can have an agent, and he tells you all the sweet talk that he has a lot of connection. He has all these networking skills, and when you sign with him, then he takes you nowhere. So this is what you have to do. The first thing also in this situation is you as an agent, you have to be honest to the player. And also as a player, the first thing in this situation is you have to look at the agent honestly, whether how has he been working, how has his communication, what has he been doing, what is his record. Of course, there are agents who are starting out, but they have connections. So that's those also have that those kind of things you have to put into play. But the thing is, you people have to sit both, analyze each situation that, okay, I will take you to this club within the next 2 months. And if this doesn't happen, this is where we are going to go from here. So you people speak directly and have honest conversation, because there are a lot of situation players that have been frustrated that agent takes them from, for example, Asia, Africa, carry them to bring them to Europe, for example, and those players end up not end up just hanging around the street because the agent took them and abandoned them and left them there. So these are also key things that agents and players always have to have conversation about. The last thing, or the fifth decision I would say, is building visibility. You can be the most talented player in the world, but if you're not visible or if you're not seen or exposed, no one knows you are existing. So you have to have an agent you have to build your visibility as a player. So get in contact with your agent. The first thing is you have to build visibility. How do you build your visibility? Each game you play, you have to always have, if you're playing good, well, you have to focus on your stats always. Not if you're playing good, but if you're playing, you have to focus on your stats and keep improving. Focus on having videos, not not highlight videos. Highlight videos are good, but most agents or most sporting directors, they always want to see you in real game situations, because a lot of sporting directors also know that the highlight videos are clips of your best moment, which doesn't really make any sense, because you can play a game of 90 minutes and you caught only your best moment. You don't show where you lose passes or where you didn't track a runner which led to a goal. So always keep those videos, because they are very important. And then your visibility is very important, that you keep building your visibility. How do you build your visibility? Talking to coaches, talking to agents, always asking for feedback. And if there's always an event or a trial somewhere, you can try to turn up there. But the best way to also to do this is get an agent to build your visibility. When you get an agent, you put sit down and say, this is what I want to do, and I would like us to work like this. Because that's the best way. Most people get agents and they just focus on representative agreement. Yes, that is the thing that the agent is there for. But an agent is almost like a mentor, because he is in charge of taking you to somewhere or to various leagues. So you people have to sit down and have a conversation and say, hey, I want my image to look like this. I want to develop like this. And I want to play in this league because this is where I feel I'm suited. And he can give his reply after watching you. You can have honest conversation and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's do this gradually and let's move forward. So when you have this honest conversation, it's easy to respect each other and you move and grow as a professional. Okay? Okay, that's it, guys, for the video. Thanks for watching. And I'm Gaucho Brian, FIFA licensed agent living in Finland. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're old, thanks for coming back. I help football agents build a network of football clubs so that they can sell their players. I'm also an agent, so I do this also so that I can build my agency to an elite level. Okay, thanks for stopping by. And any question, you can always drop it in the comment section. And if you're struggling as an agent to get your network going on with clubs, or if you're struggling to build a network with clubs, do book a mentorship one-on-one call with me. I'm going to take you through from where it is broken or from where you don't know what to do, to taking you structurally and saying this is what you're going to do to be able to reach that level. Okay, take care, guys, and talk to you in the next video. Bye for now. Cheers.